Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for being here for this historic day for the organization. Thank you again for taking the time out of your day. We'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with opening statements from all three. We'll start with co-owner and chairperson Nadia Rawlinson. Then we'll go to our all-star, our leading scorer the past 2 years, and a list of accolades that can go on forever, Ms. Clea Copper. Then we'll hear speak from head coach Teresa Weatherspoon and the list of accolades that, again, we could be here all day for. So we'll start with Nadia, and then we'll go to Clea, and then to Coach.
Thank you, Carly. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Yes, can I have a little bit more energy? Good morning. Yes, so welcome to all the press that are here. Those have been with us for a while, and those that are new, welcome to the Chicago Sky. I also want to say hello and welcome to all of the team's fans and supporters and staff who are here. As Carly mentioned, I'm Nadia Rawlinson, the co-owner and operating chairman of the Chicago Sky. Today is a good day, not only because it's nearly 80 degrees outside, but in October, but it's an important one because this marks the next era of the Chicago Sky and why we're all here to officially introduce our new head coach, Teresa Weatherspoon. But first, I want to take a moment to recognize one of my friends and principal owner, Michael Alter. He's the person who's responsible for the team even coming to Chicago. He saw the future before anyone else did and believed in women's professional basketball. His commitment laid the groundwork to the culture that we know and are proud of here at the Sky, and bringing the championship to the city in 2021, which, by the way, is the most recent championship of any professional sports team in the city, by the way. And we've also had some unwavering support from one of our other co-owners, John Rogers, who has lent his expertise and investment over a number of decades, in addition to the dedication of Adam Fox and Harvey Alter. So with that, I think we should just talk about this year. 2023 was a consequential year for the Sky and a nod to our future potential. As a result of our $85 million valuation this year, the Chicago Sky is now the second most valuable franchise in the WNBA. This capital raise was led by one of the most diverse, female-led ownership groups in the league, and along with the addition of the NBA All-Star and Son of Chicago, Dwayne Wade. We're very proud of this group of people that came to support the Sky. The top priorities for this investment are going to be focused on a couple of things, and I just want you all to take note of this because we've been committed to this and we will make this come to bear. Player support and resources, elevating marketing and the fan experience, and securing a new practice facility. This year, even after an uneven year with some of our record, we made it to the playoffs for the 5th season in a row. We also have re-signed our top player sitting right over here, Clea Copper, the 3-time All-Star, our leading scorer, and the 2021 Finals MVP to a multi-year extension. And that signal and belief that you have in us and we have in you shows that there's a lot more to see and do here in the Sky. And now we have our new head coach. The future is bright for the Sky, and we're just getting started. And Teresa Weatherspoon is a critical part of that vision. So I just want to say a few words about Teresa. I know she was like, please don't, like, you're going to embarrass me, but I'm going to embarrass her for the sake of everyone, to remind everyone who exactly she is. She has been recognized by 5 different Hall of Fames, most notably the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, named one of the 20 best and most influential players in the history of the WNBA. She has been in and around women's basketball as a 5-time All-Star athlete and as a coaching executive, both at the collegiate and professional level. She was a top 10 pick in the WNBA's inaugural draft, but also represented our country as a gold medalist on the global stage in the Olympics. She brings over 10 years of coaching experience to the Sky, most recently as an assistant coach with the NBA's New Orleans Pelicans before taking on the head coaching role here. Teaspoon has done the work. She's demonstrated excellence at every level, time and time again. Her bona fides are unquestioned. And at the end of the day, I know you to be someone who is down to earth, real, cool, the youngest of 6 siblings, and is someone who's dedicated to her family. The Chicago Sky is in the privileged position to have you as part of this organization.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And before we turn it over to our legend, I'll let Kalia have a few words to share.
Very tough follow. But thank everybody for being here. I'm super excited to be a part of this era with you. I think that we're going to do something really special. Like Nadia said, I think you, beyond the accolades, you're an amazing person and someone that I can really relate to, and someone that I want to really give all that you really deserve. So I'm proud to be here and a part of this organization, and I'm ready to gear up, you know.
That's right.
Oh, wow. First of all, let me thank everyone in this building for coming out to support this moment. It's a very, very big moment for all of us, not just for me. But I say this all the time, and I want to make sure I continue to say this, is because when God solidifies and glorifies your position and your destination, no one can take this away from you. It's yours. And this is the moment that I'm living right now, because God is showing me that when he says he won't leave you nor forsake you, he's showing me right now that he did exactly what he said. And now I sit here as head coach of the Chicago Sky.
That's right.
I am one who has been told many times, no. I am one who has been told many times, or doors have closed many times. My mother said, when doors close, there's another one that's going to open, and you better be ready to get in it. If you don't get in the door, you don't come down the chimney, you better get in a window. So I'm coming through the window. And when I'm coming through the window, they don't call me Spoon for nothing. I'm coming here to stir things up.
That's right. That's right.
I am beyond excited to be here, beyond excited. The one thing that I will guarantee you, and you can write it in your books, that I will give you my all. I am all in. I am geared up. That is our campaign. We are geared up to do the right thing. We want to be different. So we got to do different, and we got to look different. And we will be. We will take over this town. You can write it. You can mark it. But there's a way that you do it. And in the way that I have the opportunity to do it, look who I have to my right. I'm here because when I take a look at who Kalia is, I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of her growth development, and all those things that you heard Nadia speak about what I've had an opportunity to accomplish. All those things that I've had an opportunity to accomplish are only experiences that I'm supposed to give back. And that's what I want to give to the one on my right. I want to give it all to her because it's her time. It's her time to lead this organization in the right way. And it's my duty. It's my duty to pour into her, to pour into every player that's a part of this organization. I want to make sure that I stop for a second and give great thanks to Michael Alter for having me here, for really believing in who I am, knowing that I have the ability to get it done. I thank you so much for this opportunity. I really thank you. To Adam, you have been my buddy. You have been my buddy. You've been there for me. You've given me some things on the phone that I kind of funny, but I will make sure I use those things against you. But I appreciate you. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your care. And I got a chance to meet Harvey Alter as well, which was an extreme great moment. Funny guy. And I'm going to have an amazing time just being here. And then being able to have dinner. I had lunch with Mr. Bob Arthur. When I tell you this is a man who's invested in what we do, who cares about what we do, and I want you to know that you are appreciated by what you do for us, and we will make sure that we represent everything that you bring to us in the right way. I thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. Man, I've had an opportunity with this one on to my left. I owe her a lot. if I could really find the words to tell you all what this means to me. You would truly understand my journey. It hasn't been an easy journey. You can take a look at all the accolades and hear all the accolades, but nothing was easy. And that's why I am who I am. Sometimes you find failure to get you out of the familiar. And that's where I am in my life. And I want the players that I have an opportunity to touch, the players that I have an opportunity to be a part of, for them to understand that and how to get through that. And that's what I've done in my life. So I have an opportunity to share that. And this is a very, very special moment for me, a very special moment for my family, because without them, and I know you guys are watching, I love you with all my heart. I thank you for all of your support, for all the stuff I put you through as the baby of the family. I thank you for being there with me through everything I desired in my life. But you guys, this is a great moment for us to gear up in Chicago, a great moment for us to be ready to do what we have to do. And the moment starts now. It's not tomorrow. It's not the next day. It's not next year. It's now. So let's all gear up and be ready for what the Chicago Sky is about to do.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll open it up to questions now. We have a mic going around the room, so anyone just give me a nod or a hand raise, and then we'll go from there. Thank you.
Teresa, great to meet you. Annie Costabile from the Chicago Sun-Times. My first question's for you. What specifically did Sky ownership sell you on that made you want to join the franchise in what Nadia described as being such a consequential time?
It was very easy for me to hear the vision and where they were going and the players that I have with me. That was enough for me. It's not very hard to sell me on the game. It's not very hard at all. To sell me on the game. I've been there. I've done that. I understand what the game is. But I wanted to know the vision. I wanted to know where we were going and how we were going to get there. And the vision was sold to me quickly because we're all on the same page. And that's the most important part, is everybody being on the same page and the vision is the same as mine.
And then, Ka, you talked, before the season ended about your decision to re-sign and it being similar to what Teresa just spoke about, that vision being easy to buy into. How involved were you in, Teresa joining the Sky franchise and kind of what were your conversations like with her through this process of interviewing and everything?
I think from the very first conversation that we had, it was like our energy we connected over energy. And I said, I've never had a coach that could really match my energy. And that was just something that really hit me. So just from the conversations earlier, I kind of knew like more about her, and then we just kind of connected from there and then stayed in touch.
And then Nadia, for you, this is something, even Kalia spoke about as far as the vision and being sold on the vision of the future of the franchise and your pursuits of Teresa as well. She mentioned the vision. So you mentioning, player support and resources, marketing, and securing that new practice facility. Can you speak to specifically where things stand as far as securing that practice facility and what specifically is the Sky's vision as far as player support goes, marketing goes, and then as well as the practice facility?
Yeah, well, the overall vision is to win and to have the right pieces in place in which to do that. And both Ka and Teresa are critical components of that foundation. The others, I think, are details, and we can get into operational, minutia if you would like. I don't think it's very interesting at the press conference to talk about it, but we're definitely dedicated to making sure we have everything the players need from a resource and health and wellness perspective. The fan experience, I'm sure everyone knows we're good, but we can be even better. I want people to know about the Sky even in the off season when we're not playing during the summer. I want Teresa to be around. I mean, we've had a couple of times we've just been walking through Chicago and people are like, teaspoon, on the street or in the elevator or at dinner. I mean, it's crazy to, trying to keep it
So I
private.
set it up.
and everyone's like, teaspoon's here in Chicago. It's like, wait, no one's supposed to know. But things like that are helpful, right, for the brand and who we are and what we're going to accomplish. For the practice facility, those are ongoing conversations. We have had a lot of activity since the summer when we first announced that this was a priority of ours. As you can imagine, from a financial perspective, we're looking at what's the right thing for us, but also location-wise, buy or build, do something that has a longer-term play versus something we get short-term or interim. All those are all of the considerations we're going through, and that's something that we've been live and actively pursuing over the last few months. So more to come on that, but it is definitely an active pursuit that we have.
May I add to that a little bit, Nadia?
Yeah,
if
sure.
it's okay. Nadia mentions about the facility, which is great, right? But I also want to mention this is where we are, we have enough where we are. And I think it's important to share this because when the most important thing is where you are, sometimes is the most important thing about what you get where you are. The resources that are provided for you where you are. And you take full advantage of where you are in order to get to where you're going, to the vision that Nadia speaks about. So we are where we are, and we're going to build where we are, and we're going to provide all the resources our players need to get to where we're going to get to, if that makes sense.
We'll go front row on your left. Please state your name and affiliation.
Hey, Coach. Carly Bell with Marquee Network. Nice to meet you. You're the second coach now, or excuse me, you're sixth coach in the WNBA that's a former player, and you also have NBA experience. And we've seen how coaches with NBA experience have had winning with Becky Hammon and everything. What are things that you've taken from being an assistant within the NBA and the Pelicans that you want to bring to the WNBA, and the differences between both styles of game that you think can infiltrate into the WNBA?
The most important thing is relationships. I've learned along the way, the X's and O's are the X's and O's. They're going to be able to do the X's and O's and execute it properly. But the most important thing is to have a relationship. Find out what makes them go, why they do what they do. And when you gain that relationship with them, your conversations, your deepest conversations, your hardest conversations are easy because they're going to know that you are for them in the right way. So that's the most important thing. It's not about the X's and O's. That's going to be the easy part. It's about gaining the relationships. And I've learned that along the way, whether it was playing, whether it was at my collegiate coaching at Louisiana Tech, and then coaching in the NBA, and now in the W, back in the W where I belong. I said it's only the relationships that truly matter to get to the X's and O's.
And then Kalia, you spoke about Spoon's energy. How would you just describe that energy? I feel like we can kind of already get a sense of what it is now, but how would you describe the energy that she brings to this team?
Electric.
Yeah. Well said. Next question.
That's it.
That's it. That's the truth.
And then my last question, Nadia, obviously this is you guys hired a head coach before a GM. What was the meaning behind wanting to get a head coaching position before the general manager? And what are the steps now that the Sky are trying to take to get into the general manager position and have that filled before free agency starts in February?
I think Spoon said it well when she said we do things our own way here at the Sky, and we do things differently. And this was the right thing for us to make sure that we anchored the coach. And when we knew that Teresa was someone that was in our sights and that she was interested, this was again, going back to the important component for the vision, she was a critical part of that. So that was why we pursued the coaching position first. With the GM, that is an ongoing process we feel really good about. And we will announce something then when we have some news to share. But right now we want to make sure we're focusing on Teresa.
We'll go second row on your left.
Coach Weatherspoon, how you doing? Welcome to
Awesome.
Chicago.
How about you?
I'm well. Stephen
Good.
Gardner from the CSGO Sports. My first question for you is, of course, welcome to Chicago again. Have you seen or have you began to take steps towards assembling your coaching staff of positions underneath you?
Yes, and I'm going to take my time with that because this is a very important piece. That piece is very important for the young women that we will be coaching. So I'm going to take my time, be thorough in my search. I have a few names that are already on board with me that I think that I will take a look at, but it's important that I take a look thoroughly and do the right thing for the players.
And then just kind of looking at the pieces already on the roster, do you feel like some of those or most of them align with the principles and philosophies that you have in terms of what you want to stamp on the team?
Absolutely. That's why I sit here.
Mm.
That's why I sit here. Absolutely. Great question. And it is no answer, but absolutely.
And I think we all saw you at the WNBA finals supporting the Liberty and just being there and being a part of all of that. Just kind of looking at that from a grander scheme, those are two teams that are like the driving forces in terms of the evolution of offense in the W. I was wondering, because of course you were a defensive minded player, where do you think teams can go defensively to help catch up with that? And do you feel like, of course, you'll bring that to the Chicago Sky?
I like that, but I don't play catch up to anyone.
That's right.
No, that won't be our approach. Teams are who they are. We want to be who we are. And we have to establish that identity early. And that's my main focus, is establishing our identity. And then what happens? They chase us.
Oh, nice.
We'll go third row on your left.
Welcome to Chicago, Coach.
Thank you.
So just a quick question. You spoke about the no's that you were told a little bit earlier in your career, and I saw a speech that you gave during International Women's Day. What message do you have to that person that told you no?
Kai even knows the story. As a young person, I always had a message, right? But I didn't speak it. I lived it. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Just do your work. I don't have a message. I don't need to give a message. Everything was said to me, told to me. It's not something that's going to drive me. I'm already driven. I'm already motivated. But the one thing I do know is, who isn't moving with me and not driving with me, you'll just stay in park.
We'll go third row middle.
Yeah. Hi, Coach.
How are
Monique
you?
Newton here at the Next. Welcome to Chicago.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of questions. First, the thing that really stood out to me in kind of the formal PR release was your mention of in the community that will be rooted in excitement, excellence, and hard work. What is your vision for the Chicago Sky and the broader Chicago community?
I am big on the community. I always speak this. If you want to be the talk of the town, you have to be in the town. So we're going to walk those shoes that you see between the four lines. Those shoes will be walking outside the four lines. We have to be a part of the community. It's important that we connect. That's the most important piece when you talk about community, is we connect with the community. We connect with our fans. Connection means everything. We want to pull them into what we do, but if we pull them into what we do, we have to be a part of what they do. It's important that our young ladies get out there and allow people to know them just more than, not just more than a basketball player. So much more to these women than you'll ever imagine. Their journeys need to be told, because when they speak and someone hears what they've been through, it's going to resonate with someone. It's going to say, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's what matters. We have to get out there, and we're going to get out there because it's important. It's valuable.
And then, Coach, you've already touched on this a little bit, but what can Sky fans expect in terms of the team's identity moving forward?
Fire.
Thank you.
Fire. You have it right here. You have it right. You're looking at it right here. And all it's going to do, it becomes contagious. Fire becomes contagious. Energy becomes contagious. Just being energetic becomes truly contagious, and it'll jump from one person to the next. And I promise you, if you stand close to it, it's going to jump in you. I promise you. Thank you. That's what we want right there. That's all we asking. Fire.
That's right.
Go second row middle.
Coach, my name is Kyle Williams with Chicago Sun-Times. When you were in New Orleans, you fortified a relationship with Zion Williamson, and it was he's talked about it openly, just how much that meant to him. So kind of, how do you go about cultivating the bonds with not only Kalia, but the rest of the team? And when did you know that relationships were so impactful and a part of the game?
As a playmaker, there's a sacrifice in the position you play. So you have to know the strengths and weaknesses of every player. And that's where it came from, is just gaining that relationship of knowing what makes each one of the players I played with go, studying film of each player to know what makes them go, what makes them the best versions of themselves. I can't be the best version of myself if that person isn't the best version of themselves. So the relationship truly matters. And the relationship I had with Zion, that was supposed to go with us to the grave. But he spoke about it and asked me to speak about it. And it was just a relationship that we formed in order for me to be to give tough love. Because I wanted to have that relationship to give that tough love, for him to know that I only want the best for you. I've been there. I've done it. I don't need anything else. I just want you to be the best version of yourself. And that's how we formed that relationship. And to speak about how I would do that with the players is the very same thing that Kalia just shared with you. I'm going to have a conversation with you. I want you to know who you are. I want to know what you think you bring. Your voice is credible. Your voice is credible. That's an important piece to a player, is for them to know that their voice is credible. But then it's my turn to guide you to be the best you. And the relationship does matter.
We'll go second row middle.
Hey guys, Mike Hughes from the ASAP Network. First and foremost, Coach, I want to say welcome to the city.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you here. My only questions for Ka. The last 6 months have been so impactful for this organization on all levels, bringing in basketball-minded people. I remember how excited you were about Dwayne Wade joining the organization, now Teaspoon. Can you talk about what that means for you, knowing that not just on the floor with the competition, obviously having Court and Marina and everybody else, but on all levels, the organization's taking this team seriously?
I think just going back to a conversation that we had before we came down here, she says gear up, and like we talk about not just the players, from the front office, like everybody. So I think that that's what's most important. And I think that those months, and we talk about the vision and we talk about what we want to do, and everybody has to be on board and everybody has to hold each other accountable to be able to get to the vision. So I think that having former players who have done it at the highest level really helps. So I'm excited. Like I said before, I'm excited about D Wade and Spoon. I think that they've done it, so they know what it takes, and everybody has to gear up and get on board.
Shakia Taylor, Chicago Tribune. Hi, Teresa Weatherspoon. How are you? My first question is, when you were inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame, Crystal Robinson said that you pushed people to knock down the wall that kept them from being great. What does it mean for you to be great in this era as Sky head coach? What would it take?
First of all, I hadn't heard my full name being called in a long time. That was important to me because starting the league, walls were up against us. And that was important to me to share that message with my teammates, my sisters, the warriors I went to war with. And it's the same thing. I carry that in anything that I do in life. And if there are any walls, and any wall because I will have sit downs with every player individually, and I'll know if there's any walls. And that's my job, to help them to understand how to knock that wall down. Because there are walls that every one of us in here have had them, every one of us. And if you say you don't, change that, because that's not true. But there's ways that we handle walls, and you sometimes can take it brick by brick. And that's my job, to be able to help. I think if you kind of peel through my life, you would see how many things that have been built up and I had to peel through. So the experience of what I've done is what I always share. I'm not reading anything. I'm not bringing something off of Google to you. I'm bringing my life. I'm bringing my experience to help each player, not one, not two, but each player and anyone else that I encounter, of how to make it through those things. That's just how I live my life. That's the message that I always give, of knocking down walls and not allowing it to hinder you for whatever you want in this life. Thank you.
Third row middle.
This question is for both Teresa and Nadia. Marshall Harris with CBS 2 Chicago. First off, I know you hired the coach because you do things the Skyway before the GM, but I'm just curious, have there been discussions in terms of how much impact, how much of a role you'll have in terms of putting the roster together then between now and then?
The great thing about being here, this is awesome, is I haven't been left out on anything. I know everything that's going on. I've been a part of everything that's going on. My voice has been heard on anything that's going on. So when you talk about that search, we are in that search. And it's important that we take our time and be thorough in that search, because it's a huge piece of what we need to be successful. And that's where we are with that. And that's how we've approached it. And I haven't been left out on anything. And yes, I do have a voice in what may come, but I'll put the rest of that on Nadia.
Just to echo what she said, for sure, we've included her on everything. That's when you asked Annie, like, what have we sold? And part of it is your voice matters. This is a team and a high performing one, and everybody, to use your words, has a credible voice, not just players, but everyone who's part of the leadership of this organization, because we all are in this together. And then for whoever we end up deciding to choose to be GM will also be a critical voice as well. So we're looking forward to that, the collegial sort of experience amongst our leadership team.
So will that be more of a committee approach, or will someone have final say?
Oh, there's always a final say.
Okay,
yes.
who will have final say? I guess.
So we're working that out now around the structure, depending on who we get and what it looks like in the future.
All right, thank you.
Third row middle. Last couple, please.
Hi, ladies. Congratulations, Spoon. Josh Friedman with WGN TV. You talk about leading through experience. I'm curious, as the youngest of six, can you share a story or anecdote about what it was like growing up in that household and how those experiences shaped you and to the player and to the coach that you are?
It's really a great question, because I come from very, very humble beginnings. I come from a place called Pineland, Texas, 882 people. I graduated in class 29. I come from a very small place. And so we had to fight for everything that we got as children. And my mom and dad taught us the meaning of work, how hard we must work to get anything that we want. And of course, being the baby of six, I got beat up. I got my tail torn up because we were all so competitive. Every one of us was so competitive. And I wanted to understand what that meant. You know, I gained everything. I didn't have to look outside my home. My father, if you look it up, they call him Chuck Witherspoon, but that's my dad, Charles Weatherspoon. If you take a look at his baseball career, that's my dad, still leading in the minor leagues with most grand slams in one game. That's my father. So I follow in some really, really big footsteps. And my brother's football players, my sister's basketball players, and everything else. So I really got beat down, and there was a lot that they expected of me to carry the Weatherspoon torch. They expected it to come from me. I didn't know how that was going to happen. I'm like, you guys got everything. I'm trying to get what you got. I want what you have. But they saw something in me as a young kid, and without them, I would not be where I am right now. The support that's still given to me, I'm still the baby. Still treated as such. I am a rotten apple. I don't mind telling anybody, but they treat me like that. But yeah, I got it pretty rough as a little one coming up in that family, because it taught me a lot. It taught me how to persevere. It taught me to believe in myself, to be confident and walk in that confidence. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter. I'm from a place of 882 people. It does not matter where you come from. Your dream is your dream. You have to live out that dream. Like we said, there's going to be failures that happen, but from failures to familiar, and that's what it's about. Being uncomfortable to being comfortable. And that's my approach to a lot of things in life.
Thank you, everyone, for the questions. Thank you, everyone on Zoom, for joining. Thank you, everyone on our live stream, for joining as well. If we could turn our attention to the video board, please, just for a couple minutes. If you can see up there, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Most incredible hire. When you got Teresa Weatherspoon, you got one of the best. People teach